Hi everyone, welcome back. In the last video, we learned about common JS module pattern in Node.js. So in common JS module pattern, if we have to export a function, variable or an object, this is how we export them. We write module.exports and the name of the function, variable or the object. Here we are exporting this calculation object. Okay, so this is how we export in common JS module pattern. And if we have to import a variable, function or an object, this is how we import it. We write const the name of the variable, function or object equal require and then the path of that function, variable and object. Okay, so it is very simple. We to export, we write module dot exports equal the name of the variable, function and object, and to import we write const the name of the variable, function or the object that was exported equal require and then the path. Okay, so this is all about common JS module pattern, and in this video we are going to learn about ES module pattern. So let's learn ES module pattern. So I'm making a new folder. In this module pattern folder, let's call it ES module. And in this ES module, let me make another folder. Let's call it using MJS. Okay, so this ES module pattern, we are going to learn how we can do this ES module pattern using this .mjs extension. Instead of using .js extension, we are going to use .mjs extension. Okay, so let's make two files, calculation dot mjs. Okay, so to use ES module we write .mjs extension over here. Okay, and let me make another folder and let me make another file. Let's call it index.js. Okay, now let's copy everything from here to our new calculation.mjs file, and let me copy everything from this index to this index file. Okay, so this is how we export in common JS module. So let me comment it and let me teach you how we can export functions, variables and object in ES module. So to export this calculation object from this file, we write export default and the name of this object, that is calculation. So in ES module we write export default and then the name of variable, function or the object. Okay, and in common JS we write module.exports equal the name of the function, variable and the object. Okay, so I think the export part is clear now, and this is how we import in common JS. Okay, and let me teach you how we can import this in ES5. So we write, instead of writing const calculation equal require the path of the file, we write import the name of the variable, function or the object, that is calculation, from and then the path. Okay, so import calculation from /calculation. Okay, so this is how we import in ES module. We write import calculation from the path of the calculation file. Okay, and how do we export? We write export default calculation. Okay, so now I think everything is clear now. The distinction between exporting and importing files in common JS and ES file module pattern are clear now. So let me repeat it again. In common JS we write module.exports equal calculation. In ES module we write export default calculation. In common JS we import like const calculation equal require and the path, and in ES module we write import calculation from the path. Okay, and let me try to run this. Let's see whether it works or not. So let me go to this module folder and then ES module and then using MJS folder, and here we have to run this index.js file. So let's run it. Let's run it node index.js, and it is giving me an error. So let's see the error. Cannot use import statement outside a module. Okay, so we messed up this here. Okay, so basically we messed up here. We wrote this .js extension. We have to write mjs extension. Okay, so mjs, now it will work. Let me run it again, and it is giving me again an error. Why is it giving me an error? Okay, so I got it. It is giving me the error because I'm using .js extension. We have to write mjs extension. Okay, and we are getting 7 and -3. We are expecting this, so it is working. Okay, so you might be wondering, Arvind, is there a way to use this ES module pattern without using this .mjs extension? So yeah, we have a way of doing that. We can do that using package.json file. Okay, so let me make another folder and let's call it using package.json file. Okay, and in this folder let me make two files, calculation.js and the other one is index.js. We have to make one more file that is called package.json, and here we have to write an object and write type, and it is giving me this two types. So the default value is common.js, and we don't want to use this common.js. We want to use this module. What is this module? Basically this is ES module. So now let's copy all the logic of calculation from here and let's paste it over here, and let's also copy this index.js, and let's also copy this logic and paste it over here. Okay, so let me close these files. Okay, and we made this package.json file. We have this calculation.js file where we are exporting using this ES module pattern, export default calculation, and we have this index.js file where we are importing calculation from /calculation.mjs. So we don't need this .mjs extension now, so let's remove it and make it .js extension, and I think we are done. So now let's test it whether it works or not. So let me go to this folder, this using package.json folder. So where am I have to go to this ES module folder using package.json file, and let me see. Okay, so we have to run this index.js file, and we are getting 7 and -3. Okay, so let me repeat it again what we did today. So basically we are learning ES module in Node.js. So there are two ways of using this ES module pattern in Node.js. The first way is to use this .mjs extension, and the second way is by using this package.json file. Okay, if you don't know anything about this package.json file, don't worry about it, because the next video is all about this package.json file, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so we have two ways of using ES module. The first way is to use this .mjs extension, and the second way is to use this package.json file. Okay, so your assignment is to experiment with this common.js module pattern and ES module pattern. Okay, and this is it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.